Welcome back as we analyze what's been one of the most dramatic days that we have seen in an election. There have been victories and there have been victories, but 67 out of 70, which is the tally that the Aam Aadmi Party got today, more than 95% of the seats. We've been all trying to rack our memories and we really can't remember another day quite like this. It was actually an absolutely stunning result that we have seen in Delhi. And over the course of the next 1 hour, we're going to try and figure out what were some of the factors that led to a victory of this magnitude, and also what the possible implications could be for national politics and for politics in general. So that's some of the things that we're going to be discussing. Great panel. Shekhar Gupta is with us. Rajmohan Gandhi is with us as well. Would be, I think, more than pleased at what you saw unfolding in Delhi today. Karan Singh is joining us for the Congress Party. A really sad day today. Duck in Delhi, 0 seats in Delhi, in a state that they ruled just about a year and a half ago. Atishi Marlena also joining us from the Aam Aadmi Party in just a couple of minutes. Nalin Kohli is also going to be joining us. There he is, in fact, Nalin Kohli joining us as well. So we will be taking a look at the repercussions, but let's just spell it out for you one more time in case you haven't had time to see all the details. This is the extent of the victory that we have seen in Delhi by the Aam Aadmi Party today. 67 for the Aam Aadmi Party out of 70. 3 seats for the BJP. So that's such a stunning turnaround from what we saw in the Lok Sabha just a short while back. And what does that actually mean in terms of the other impacts that you have to look at? Take a look at the possible chief ministerial candidates, and that's almost as stunning as this particular graphic is. Yes, obviously Arvind Kejriwal won his own seat, and he won it rather comfortably. But the other 2 contenders, Kiran Bedi and Ajay Maken, both of them losing. Kiran Bedi losing her own seat in Krishnanagar, one of the bastions of the Bharatiya Janata Party, and that particular graphic you're seeing on your screen actually tells the story of just what happened today. Kiran Bedi losing in Krishnanagar, a BJP bastion. And for Ajay Maken and a large number of the Congress leadership, obviously everybody in the Congress Party lost today, but a surprisingly high number of them losing their deposits as well. And that actually adds, and he himself, Ajay Maken, losing his deposit today. It just sort of shows you what happened today in a really exceptional day, I think, and a very dramatic day. Let's just take a look at the vote shares, because there's a lot of stories that are told in that as well. The Aam Aadmi Party today recording a rather astonishing 55% of the votes. BJP way behind at 33, Congress down to 10. But in terms of the swing from the previous assembly election in 2013, Aam Aadmi Party picking up 25, BJP more or less where it was actually, just down 1% from 2013. The Congress Party dropping 15%, so a big swing from the Congress Party to the Aam Aadmi Party. Others also dropping very sharply down to 3%, and the Aam Aadmi Party picking up a lot of that. So lots of votes swinging from the Congress Party and from others to the Aam Aadmi Party. Very interesting though to take a look at the comparison between 2014, the Lok Sabha election. Remember, the BJP got 60 assembly segments in the Lok Sabha elections. Here's the swing there. Aam Aadmi Party up 21% from the Lok Sabha election, the BJP dropping 14%, Congress down 6% as well. So both of them losing to the Aam Aadmi Party when that particular swing comes to. Just one more graphic if I can quickly take you through, because it helps explain what's been happening in Delhi over the last few years. This was the picture of Delhi in 2008. Lots of Congress Party, and remember this was the 3rd time that the Congress had won here in Delhi. So Congress seats winning for the 3rd time, very much a Sheila Dikshit city in 2008, and the BJP picking up whatever remaining seats there were. Picture changed in 2013, Congress dropping to 8, hung assembly, and at this time, which is why you've had elections again right now, and the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party pretty much dividing the city between them. Very different today. It's a complete green wash out there, a clean sweep there by the broom. Aam Aadmi Party picking up all the seats excepting for those 3 stray seats that were won by the BJP. So a really dramatic day. And before I get the panel to start analyzing it, let's just quickly take you through the major events as they unfolded today.
not just a win, it's a tsunami. A landslide that swept away everything in its path. The BJP ended up where everyone expected the Congress to be, in single digits. The Congress was nowhere to be found. For the two-year-old party and its leader, the win went beyond even their own expectations.
मैं दिल्ली की जनता को सलाम करता हूं. It's very scary. जितना बड़ा बहुमत दिल्ली की जनता ने हमें दिया है. मैं एक ही निवेदन करना चाहूंगा, जरा सा भी अहंकार मत करना. सब लोगों की सेवा करनी है, दिल्ली के लोगों की सेवा करनी है. मैं अकेला कुछ नहीं कर सकता, मैं बहुत छोटा आदमी हूं. ये मेरी पत्नी है. ये कभी भी सामने नहीं आती. जो कुछ भी मेहनत मैं करता हूं, वो मैं मेहनत बिल्कुल नहीं कर पाता अगर मुझे इनका साथ नहीं मिलता.
It's a wave that is not just the underclass that's voting for Aam Aadmi Party, it's the middle class as well.
As Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi celebrated, outside the home of BJP's chief ministerial candidate, reporters waited for Kiran Bedi, who had promised to leave early to be at a Krishnanagar office. She never left.
Considered one of the safest bets for the BJP, this is Kiran Bedi's office in Krishnanagar. No party workers, even the office is locked. This was a seat the BJP won by over 33,000 votes in the last election. Now it's been defeated in a seat it hasn't lost for over 20 years. That too at the hands of a first-timer, Aam Aadmi Party's S.K. Bagga.
I haven't lost.
Okay, why do you think the BJP has
I
lost?
think let the BJP introspect. They are a very interesting national cadre-based party and they will assess for themselves. लेकिन जिस तरीके का विश्वास उन्होंने में डाला कार्यकर्ता तक, मैं उस विश्वास के काबिल नहीं रही. मैं उनसे क्षमा मांगती हूं. अरविंद को मुबारक देती हूं. Congratulations to Arvind, Kejriwal and the entire AAP party.
As the BJP tried to figure out and explain not only why they lost but the scale of the defeat, the Congress was simply wiped clean, scoring a duck.
From a party that ruled Delhi for 3 consecutive terms, Congress is now reduced to size 0. Such a defeat demoralizes the worker, and the empty Congress office clearly reflects that mood. But more importantly, it raises serious questions about the party's top leadership. In its moment of defeat, Congress only had Ajay Makan fielding tough questions from the media.
मैं दिल्ली के अंदर कांग्रेस का चेहरा बनकर के गया था और चुनाव के नतीजों की जिम्मेवारी भी पूरी की पूरी मेरी है. तो मुझे लगता है कि मुझे नैतिक जिम्मेवारी लेते हुए मुझे कांग्रेस के महासचिव पद से इस्तीफा देना चाहिए.
This is the highest ever tally for any party in the history of Delhi elections. For the BJP, 8 months into power, the honeymoon seems to be over, at least for now. But for the AAP, that's won the war, now the battle to perform, to ensure that they respect the mandate that they have been handed and give back to a city generous enough to give them a second chance.
All right, so a lot to discuss. What's the impact and implication of this going to be for Delhi itself, and what will the Aam Aadmi Party do in Delhi? Implications for national politics as well. We saw a lot of other opposition leaders coming together and trying to make now Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal perhaps a rallying point. But let's just start off by trying to understand what happened today. And let me come to all of our panelists and start off with that question. Shekhar, why don't I kick off with you? Many people were thinking that the Aam Aadmi Party would win. Exit polls are saying that there would be a big victory. 67 on 70 was something that not even the most ardent, loyal, fanatical Aam Aadmi Party supporter could have anticipated. So what happened? What actually played itself out in this election?
I think frankly, if you see, BJP's vote share has gone back to the old normal, and Aam Aadmi Party has got what it got last time, plus whatever the Congress was left with, or more than half of it.
And a little bit of the others as well.
And BSP. So look, Delhi is now a polarized state. In a state like Kerala, where a total difference of 1 lakh votes can make the difference between who gets a majority and who doesn't, is also a polarized state, but that's a very narrowly polarized state. It's ideological. Delhi polarization is not ideological. So in Delhi, once people had chosen one side to vote, they went there. I frankly think the people who,
polarized shaker between the BJP and the Congress, no one ever got 67 seats.
No, because BSP got many seats, right? And the highest numbers, if I remember correctly, was for Sheila Dikshit got 46-47%, right? And she got a very, very good majority with that. But BJP still got 33%, right?
But I can't ever remember one party getting 95% seats in any election.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I think there is a trend in India for the past 15 years that increasingly we are getting clearer mandates. People make up their mind. But second, I think this also tells you that pollsters and psephologists now have to revise their formulae and charts a little bit. Because when they get indications, and all of us know that many of the exit polls actually had indications that showed a much higher number for Aam Aadmi Party.
But they were cautious.
But they were very cautious because I thought it's better to say that victory with a safe majority. What's the point? The 50 number of 50, 60 doesn't sound right. Nobody got as close to 67, but people got to 50s.
All right. Let me ask everyone else that question as well. Karan saying, let me turn to you. First, the Aam Aadmi Party's 67 out of 70, and then the Congress Party's duck. What do you feel lay behind this? Why did the voters vote the way they did?
Vikram, first of all, the way you introduced me gives the impression that I am a Congress designated spokesman. I'm not. I'm here simply because I got a message from Pranav to say that he wanted me to be here. And as somebody who's watched Indian elections for over 60 years, let's make that clear.
Absolutely.
Now, with regard to your question, as a congressman, I'm dejected. As an Indian, I'm delighted. Because democracy has triumphed. The vibrancy of our democratic system, of our constitution, has shown that even the mightiest powers can be dethroned through the will of the people. And what has happened in these extraordinary elections, and the remarkable result is that one man in a muffler has stopped the entire might of the most powerful party and political leadership in the country. As it were, the Ashwamedha Yagya, Ghoda, pakd liya Arvind Kejriwal. So I think it's very remarkable. I'd like to congratulate Arvind and his team for what they've done. Now, the Congress performance, of course, has been dismal. And it couldn't have got any worse, in fact. And that is a matter for deep concern. And therefore, I'm not in a position here to produce any solutions, but simply to say that the Congress has to look within very quickly, because otherwise it is in danger of actually evaporating.
Yeah, well, Delhi at least is one place.
People of Delhi have spoken very clearly.
Yeah, it's not going to be much consolation for the BJP
Sheila,
today because the BJP itself is down to 3, but I guess Amit Shah would be telling himself that at least Delhi is a Congress Mukt assembly for sure, but it very nearly became a BJP Mukt assembly.
It was almost a BJP Mukt. Well, the BJP made some mistakes, I think.
Yeah.
It's not for me to analyze their mistakes, but you know, Kiran is a very fine woman. I've known her well. We gave her a Nehru Fellowship, but not suited to politics. And the way this election was hyped up, ultimately became a sort of Narendra Modi versus Arvind Kejriwal. They unnecessarily, I think, hyped it up. And therefore, I think they would be much more upset even than the Congress. But the fact is that this new party has been given the mandate. We must give them a full 5 years. Let's see how they perform and whether they can fulfill what they've told the people they will do.
But that's one thing, sir, which I think is relatively certain. With 67 out of 70, they're most certainly going to get 5 Saal Kejriwal, as that song has been all through the day. There's no chance of that. Mr. Rajiv Gandhi, your overall first thoughts of what was it that sparked it? Was it the BJP's mistakes, making it, instead of leaving it as a Modi versus Kejriwal battle, suddenly it becomes a Kejriwal versus Kiran Bedi battle? Was that it? Was there a better connection with the aspirations of people and helping them with their day-to-day? What do you, to your mind, explain 67 out of 70?
In another program, Ravi Shankar Prasad said that we could not read what was happening in Delhi. We lost the contact for the BJP. I think for BJP to console itself by saying that the percentage is the same as a year ago for the assembly elections, if they console themselves that way, I think they would make a serious mistake, because the drop from the parliamentary election, where they won in 60, really it's a fall from 60 to 3. It's a very, very large fall. So they must do some stock taking. As far as the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, I think it's clear that we benefited from the disenchantment with the BJP government. Not just the MCD in Delhi, but also the central government. Very serious disenchantment with the central government. And then the Aam Aadmi Party was ready to offer a promising, attractive alternative. So these two factors combined.
All right, Nalin Kohli, lots of factors are being told insofar as why the BJP did this, from possible arrogance to all those communal factors, attacks on churches and ghar wapsi and fringe elements running around, to the parachuting in of Kiran Bedi and what that possibly meant. Whichever way you look at it, it is a bit of a disaster for the BJP in Delhi. I mean, I've just seen a tweet about it, the entire opposition in Delhi can now go to the assembly in an auto rickshaw. And it just sort of shows what's happened out here.
Frankly, they could go on an ordinary scooter, and since police are going to behave now, nobody's going to stop 2 million riders.
Yeah, that's also possible. So the entire opposition going into Delhi Assembly in an auto rickshaw. That's the scale of what's happened in Delhi.
Well, I think first of all there's no denying the spectacular win of the Aam Aadmi Party, and I think there's no taking away from that too. So I mean, it's this kind of spectacular win is rare. I think the last time that an assembly has seen this kind of a win was probably in Sikkim in 1989, where the opposition party had won all the 32 seats.
That's the only case that we've been able to come
exactly.
up with, which is similar.
But nevertheless, that doesn't matter in terms of it, that 67 out of 70 is absolutely spectacular. There's no question about it, and there's no denying that fact. So I think I give them their full due for their election, because they've gone ahead, fought it, they've won the hearts of the people, and they've got the mandate. Now, on the other side will be the post-mortem that we need to do as a political party. And we will have to seriously introspect that while, yes, Mr. Gandhi was pointing out about the question of the assembly are sticking to more or less our vote share. We have at one point gone up to about 46% in 1993 when we formed the government. So the question that will be facing us is that why weren't we able to take all the votes that were disintegrating from the other sides, which is the Congress party or the BSP or the other factors. We were just not attractive for it. On the contrary, we've lost a vote. So somewhere we need to introspect and look that what are the reasons for this. And I don't think it's going to be one factor. It probably is going to be multiple factors. And that's how the party has always been. We've always looked at it, learned from our defeats and gone ahead. Because if we don't reinvent ourselves in that sense, then we'll never be learning the lessons of democracy.
But Atishi, when you speak to a lot of people in Delhi, as we have been doing for the last couple of weeks, one message which often comes across, and I'm sure this is common everywhere else in the country as well, that for the average person, the common person, the government is actually a very negative force. They always, somebody coming and pushing you around, demanding a bribe, asking you to move, you're having trouble in getting land records. So the perception of the Aam Aadmi Party by many people as a party that would fight for them and make their day-to-day life better. Is that, to your mind, one of the defining reasons for this sort of a landslide?
I think, Vikram, I would say there are multiple reasons. And I would like to take a step back from many of the issues we are discussing, be it the negative campaign, be it the parachuting of a CM candidate. I think we need to take one step back. Currently in Indian democracy, all political parties, and this is not just about the BJP, I think it applies equally to all political parties, are funded by large corporates. There's a clear quid pro quo in how political parties operate. Election funding comes from these corporates, contracts are given to them, natural resources are given to them. Politicians get their cut, the companies get their cut. That is the single most important reason why these political parties, when they come into government, don't operate in the interests of the people. And this is the core difference between the Aam Aadmi Party and other political parties. Because we have come into politics not with the idea of filling our pockets, not with the idea of any quid pro, but working in the interests of the people. That is the reason why we have repeatedly gone to the people, tried to understand their problems, tried to come up with a solution for these problems. And that is how we have actually connected it to the
similar
people.
to, I think, but just looking ahead as to what you're going to do, that was similar to what you said the last time around. But the last time around, once you'd actually come into power, many people you felt that you then ruled Delhi in a slightly immature fashion. Lots of dharnas, protests, people running around, midnight raids. You were there and you were a party with a difference, but some people felt you might want an adult to be running running Delhi as opposed to what seemed like it was more immature. I'm trying to find a polite way of putting this. Is that something which you're going to now try and change this time around?
It's interesting, Vikram, actually. I think there are different perceptions of our rule, of our 49-day government. I think if you step out into the city of Delhi, speak to ordinary people, speak to the person from whom you buy your fruits, speak to the person from whom you buy your vegetables, speak to the person who comes and delivers your newspaper in the morning, speak to your driver, speak to an auto rickshaw wala. All the common people of this city experienced great relief, and they experienced great relief from the harassing government, from the person who takes the hafta, from the MCD councillor who comes and takes their cut when you're doing your construction. That was the single most decisive experience, I feel, of the common people of this city. And that is the experience that they wanted, not for 49 days, but for a 5-year period.